What can I say except you're welcome? Hello, everyone. Welcome to where are we? Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, round number 17 of the Season 8 Championship. And, wow, this is going to be a doozy. If it's anything like last night, I cannot wait. It's going to be a cracker. And it certainly was a cracker last night. And the best thing about last night is that Farf has got a 10-second penalty and a drive-through penalty and has got a pit lane start for Singapore in 2 weeks' time. Fantastic. Talking of which, of course, there is a 2-week break after tonight, which means I'm going to go into mini hibernation for a time being then, which actually I can't because I've got to do 100% tomorrow in Singapore, which is a shocking stuff indeed. Not good. There we go. But as soon as we get Singapore, we're back onto the real tracks. Drivers in the constructors' standings. Well, just like what happened on Sunday, albeit a week in advance, Morski's got quite a decent advantage over Dan. 24 points is the championship lead. Dan is second. Smithfield Mighty has moved himself up to third. Kia not in the session again this week then, so Kia is going to lose more ground on the championship lead, unfortunately. Jitter is 76 points away at the moment. So Jitter then outside chance, and I think that Serious Mushroom's also got an outside chance as well, 82 points away as well from the championship lead. Happy 70th Grand Prix start tonight for Sickers Mark on 91 points for the Kick Sauber. Craig R on 78 points, 67 points for Rocket Lee. Hungry Styles on 56. Anthony on 51 points. Anthony hoping for a better result here tonight then. And I have told him that I've got a cheeky bet on Anthony getting on the podium here tonight then. Jake the Slayer on 41 points, 38 points for Dynamo Dan. Luke on 23, I apologise. 22 for Duncan Dave. Great result last time out for Duncan Dave. Winnie also potentially was meant to have a good result last time as well, but unfortunately got a bit too close for comfort. Vintage on 7 points. Three drivers, Albi, Ashton Army, and Swanshanks have not got any points on the board so far. Constructors, Ferrari's 47 points in front of RB in second, who is a further 53 points in front of the Alpine in third. Alpine are a total of 100 points away from the Ferrari team. Haas are in fourth position and kind of in no man's land at the moment. They don't know teams land at the moment. It's 34 points away from the Alpine, 62 points away from the Williams team. Williams comes fifth, and then it is 6th position for the Kick Sauber, 20 points away, 18 points for Red Bull, 16 points for Aston Martin, Mercedes on 41 points, McLaren, just like in gold, it's had a renaissance, haven't they, such, which is great stuff indeed then, and I'm very happy with myself because I have done the drivers and constructors before anyone has set a lap then, which is always my target in life, and I have achieved that this week, which is fantastic stuff indeed then. Also, where is he? Is he on track yet? Let me have a look. It's a very special day for Vintage. It's his 100th Grand Prix start in bronze. And so happy 100th, the first driver in ALR history to reach 100 starts for bronze. Fantastic stuff indeed that Vintage is the most experienced driver in bronze history of 100 starts. So congrats to him. Really good stuff indeed then for Vintage there. So yes, let's hope that Vintage gets in the points like he did last week. Then we got two reserve drivers in here tonight. We're just watching Ashton Army then. This season then, my personal driver of the season for me has been superb indeed, Ashton. And what makes it even better is he's just been getting better and better, more confidence for Ashton Army. But this is a tricky track to say the least. The next two races going to be a big old challenge, not just for Ashton Army, for me as well, as I'm going to struggle to get out of the pits probably in Singapore like I did on Wednesday here last week. But then after that we go back to the traditional track set of USA, Mexico, followed by Brazil. Then we go to Las Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi that is rounding off the final stage of the championship. 2-week break then, of course, mainly because we've got the United States Grand Prix this Sunday, and then we've also got the Mexican Grand Prix a week later, and I think a week after that, but then we've got Brazil as well. But hopefully, as long as there's no rain in Brazil, then ALR Gold should go as scheduled then. Yellow flag already in the final sector. I'm just watching Ashton there tackling turn 8 and turn 9. Do not go too wide there. Otherwise, unfortunately, you get a track limit violation, which I think I was the only person to do so on Wednesdays. I don't think everyone else had that problem since Lego Bronze, and it says Knowlesy, as of course I would love to have a Lego Bronze set. That good evening to John. Great something to see John Ashton John then in the comments said hello from Ultimate Beast. Good luck. Be careful out there, says Ultimate Beast said, and Ultimate Beast there. Ultimate Beast had a great old duel last night, didn't he? Of course, Ultimate Beast on the pole position once again. 7 pole positions, I think, this season for Ultimate Beast, and 12 in total for the Mercedes team there. I must say, it's a monopoly of pole positions for the Mercedes team in silver at the moment. Domination, isn't it? Here comes Ashton coming across the line on a 41-2. Then we got a Haas in the background. Of course, we mentioned about the Haas team, and their Toyota ties on the on Sunday on the weekend there, which is really cool stuff indeed there. Also, what I've heard, and going back to the real world of Formula 1 whilst we're just getting our first initial times ticked in, we of course heard, I think I just heard, well, I didn't hear, I read an interview from Helmut Marko, of course, that legend himself, likes to stir the pot, and also does potentially also does rubs some of the people up the wrong way as well. But he did say that of course he doubts that Lando Norris is going to win the championship because Lando Norris doesn't have the mental doesn't have the mental strength for it, which is a very interesting opinion there from Helmut Marko. I gotta say, I don't agree on Helmut Marko a lot, but I must say that I do think that Lando Norris may be a bit weak in that area. Whether it's going to be an ultimate factor in the championship remains to be seen. But at the moment, in terms of real world of Formula 1, I think Lando Norris has really got to put the pedal down in the final 6 races or so, which is obvious because there's a 52-point gap. Then I'd like to hear your thoughts on that and what you think about Helmut Marko's comments to Lando Norris, which is exciting stuff. Indeed, potentially we could pull a poll in the old chat, can we? Who do you think is going to win the World F1 Championship in forms of real F1 anyway. Potentially we could also say we could also do a poll about who you think is going to win the championship in gold, silver and bronze as well, because I've got to say, yes, Ultimate Beast is potentially on the verge of history in silver, but bronze and gold, it's still anyone's game at the moment, isn't there? And the 2-week break, as we just heard from Lucas Percy on Sunday, is that it's come at a very difficult time for Lucas Percy, because Lucas Percy is on a rich run of form at the moment. Of course, winning impressively as well, and of course, a major and also, of course, detriment to that is remember that for the first time in history, Sam Swift Ninja retired from a Grand Prix in Formula 1 ALR, which was absolutely shocking stuff indeed. Then Slayer then coming out to the line now, then calls 2 DRS around this circuit, and the second longest circuit on the Formula 1 calendar. Slayer goes into 6 fast mode now. Styles is just tackling the second part of the lap. I'm looking for Anthony. I don't know if I'm going to get there. I have got there just in time. Anthony across the line goes 5th fastest. A whisker in front of Sigurds Mug. Whisker behind Ashton John as well. Just watching Styles, and here he is styling and profiling through the final part of the circuit, is nosy called the Sean Kinks or something like that, or be it as Serious Russian called it the Tommy Albo and all that kind of good stuff. But to be fair, I don't really think it should be called the Sean Kinks, because I don't think in any part of the Grand Prix, in any part of the 61 odd laps, was it 61 or 51 odd laps here last week, I don't think in any part of those laps did I actually go full throttle in the race. And so there we go, that's probably why I look like a slow in a slow thing on the back straight there, but that's probably because of my girth. Just watching Rocket Lee out of the second sector there. Goodness gracious me, we've got some chats going on. All right, let's carry on then. Evening, Ginger Nuts. Good evening to you, Serious Russian there. We have also got hello, Slayer as well. Good evening. Good luck, everyone. Enjoy, viewers, says Slayer then. LB got P3 on this track on Sunday. Fingers crossed for a good result then, LB. Yes, we want to see LB in the points, don't we? I was absolutely devastated not to see Kaidal in the points last night, and Kaidal deserved drove superbly well, and very unfortunate not to get points last night. Same for Reflections as well. Reflections driver of the day. I voted for Reflections for driver of the day, and then unfortunately on the last lap he went a bit peak tongue for the Mercedes driver. Hello, Kiki. Mushing to be the first person to smash in the castle section there. Congratulations on the 100th race as well. Albeit saying to Vintage, as Vintage absolutely appreciates that. And we've also got thanks, Kiki, so as Mersham was saying as well. We had a lot of incidents in the castle section on Sunday, didn't we? Goodness gracious me. Oh, is that Rocket Lee just giving a glancing blow with the barrier there, as we are now full beans up to the start-finish rate. And there's a Mercedes right in front of us here. I think that's Swanshanks giving a lovely tow A lovely toe indeed then to Rocket Lee off. Is that Swan Shanks or was that Slayer? I apologise, Swan Shanks. Slayer giving Rocket John a lovely toe there. Here's Moomin, who's on a rich run of form in bronze at the moment. Doing a great job, Moomin is there. Of course, Moomin was a kick salver to begin with, but has dropped down to reserve drive, but has been superb stuff, Moomin has there. This is a difficult track, though, for all these drivers out here, so it's going to be interesting to see which of the drivers that is going to hit the ground running here. So on board with Albi, hoping to repeat his P3 he had here on Sunday. Welcome to the 100 Club Vintage. You noob then. Lando should drop down to bronze. Everyone else does that. We've also got, hello Sean, congrats Vintage and good luck as well. €5 from Camaro, so I appreciate that, Camaro. That is my bus fare for tomorrow. Congrats Goat and Vintage as well with the Goatifi emoji and the Fernando Alonso wink as well. Then great stuff indeed there for Nosey. Also £5 as well, then, which I think that can also go on my bus journey on Thursday. Fantastic stuff indeed. Remember that, of course, I'm always joking about where the monies go from ALR. Of course, it goes right back into the league. I don't whatever that is, and potentially is by and far for a gold medallion, potentially with the big old P on there as well. Just watch it out, be then coming out of the final couple of corners. Then I promise not to hit Astra John. Then Serious Rush say that. To be fair, Serious Rush absolutely obliterated Astra John in Italy last week. If anyone remembers, Serious Mushroom absolutely came flying into the pits there. And my goodness me, I think that Serious Mushroom there forgot where his brakes was. I've got to say, sorry, Asher John, I did find it quite funny. Luckily it didn't DNF Asher John then, and luckily it didn't happen in the race either. But yes, of course, I'm meant to be. I am always, of course. Neutral in these races, I swear. Unless, of course, it's far from I'm very much. It's anything but. Of course, I do joke. Swan Shanks is length on medium tyres there. Swan Shanks is doing a bit of a race run here. We have also got to go on track, Mushroom. No, I did 2 hours here Wednesday. Sick of it, says Serious Mushroom. I'm going to be honest, I concur with that. I'm not a fan of this track. I got to say, though, I've enjoyed watching gold races and I've enjoyed watching silver. But I'm in Serious Mushroom's camp on this one. I do not enjoy racing it. And that's a sure fact. Then, of course, me and Mushroom are traditional racers. We like to race on real Grand Prix circuits, not these street circuits like at Knowlesy, for example, who does love this circuit, doesn't he? Knowlesy does love a good old street circuit. Got blocked on my fast up, says Jinner, albeit Jinner is still in P3 at the moment there, but is that going to be crucial then in this later stage of the qualifying session? Remains to be seen. We've got 2.5 minutes to go. And Farf might have to get out the old black flag for whoever impeded Jinner. Then it depends on how Farf feels tonight. I do admit though, Farf was Styles coming up to second fast. I thought that was pole position there, but Styles up into second. Once again, Styles is showing some superlative form in the championship this season. He's dropped off ever so slightly. Styles hasn't he? But really, he has been absolutely fantastic, Styles. He's dropped down to third now, but even so, that's a great time indeed there for Styles. Dynamo Dan has also found a new leash of life as well. And it's great to see Dynamo Dan as he's been in the wilderness for the past. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? We've got a race of a race here in qualifying. Dynamo Dan, it's great to see Dynamo Dan back up to where he belongs. And I feel that Dynamo Dan should be scoring a lot more than he has been at the moment. We've got a teleporting car there. Luke goes fast on a 39.4 here. A lot of track evolution out there. I would hazard a guess at, or is these drivers finding some time winning in the pits? Dan there is now just starting up now. Dan, former championship leader, now down into second or third in the championship. I read that a minute ago and I can't remember what I said. Dan though just accelerating out of turn 3 now, or 2 I mean. Camera Racer Old Man to Serious Mushroom, I hope, and hopefully it's not me, but then again, I must say, Caro, I was falling asleep last week after Wednesday's race, mainly because it was well past 9 o'clock, and this gentleman certainly needs to be in bed by 9 the latest. Otherwise, I don't get my 23 hours of beauty sleep. Miserable old man, says Sarah's motion. Go on, Styles. I seem to have skill here, says Slayer then. And Styles got them hacks. And Kiki is saying that, oh, goodness gracious me, Kiki is spitting fire here tonight as well. Oh, into the wall. Dan goes out and he's done a Charles Leclerc. And numerous other drivers have done that as well. Of course, and I think it's Dan trying to recover now. And that's a big blow indeed. Dan 4 minutes ago. Has he got enough time to come to the pits, change the nose cone on that Alpine, and get back out? Oh my goodness gracious me. That is not ideal at all for Dan. He needs to, time is of the essence now for the former championship leader. Dan was looking so comfortable at the beginning of the season, and it started to go a bit right. It's this pressure now on Dan as he started to crack, the former championship leader. Here's a man who never cracks. It is Vintage then. Currently at the 100th Grand Prix start for Vintage tonight there. Really good stuff indeed then. As Cameron said, that Styles did good on his Urs. Unfortunately, I found out too late in the week last week about how you need to manage your Urs around this circuit. When I say manage, you need it all for the final sector, basically, don't you? And not for the middle sector as I try. Oh, Vintage in the wall! But luckily, I think it's just a glancing blow, but it's very much unsettled the car for Vintage, as Vintage has unfortunately had has had the very unluckiness this season of being a part of the Red Bull team in both the 100% and Bronze End, which is shameful by the admins. To be honest, that's debris on the... Is that a kick Sauber there? I look like a kick Sauber front wing from Vintage there. So Vintage running over some debris, potentially may have damaged his tyres, and also potentially may have damaged the front wing as well. Dan in the pits moment 3 minutes ago in this qualifying session then. Jenner's gone fast then, so potentially that blocked lap doesn't mean much then, or does it mean a lot? Because Jenner's gone out early here. He's found half a second-ish over Luke at the moment, who is currently on the front of the grid. Luke then, of course, is only started halfway through the season, just trying to get himself into the rhythm of things, Luke is. And I do think that Luke is going to make a good assault at promotion next season. I hazard a guess. Here comes Vintage, and who's currently 16th on the grid. Jenner currently fast mode, and Jenner currently has 10 pole positions this season. He's been on pole position in the last 3 races as well. Am I a better man and I'm going to go for another pole position for Jenner? I am indeed, because I do love a good bet. Unfortunately, usually I am wrong. I've not driven since getting boxed in. Since getting them boxed in, I'm scared. It says Russell. I think that's what it said anyway. Apologies, Mushroom. I've got a big old heart in my way. So as Vintage just coming in the pits well, as we celebrate Vintage's 100th Grand Prix start tonight. Good stuff indeed. I've made a huge error, by the way. I've drank a whole can of Monster, and I think that my stomach is gurgling, so that's not good at all. Let's hope Let's hope this isn't too exciting. Otherwise, I'll be whooshing around in my old gut. Duncan Dave has retired from the session down in 19th position there. Serious Mushroom is not coming out of the pits then. So Serious Mushroom, I think, is washing his hair at the moment. So that's why Mushroom is not out on circuit. We just seen Smithy go to 8th fastest, and Rocket Lee has just gone to 6th fastest. Styles is very much doing a great job at the moment then. So about a minute to go in this qualifying session there. And you can see there's yellow flags all over the show then. So Jenner's not going to do another lap then. So Jenner currently going for 4 pole positions in a row. It's 11th pole position of his season here in a bronze, which is superb stuff indeed. Smithfield Mighty just coming into the old town now. Asher John is emerged out of the garage. Here comes Anthony. A 10th for a second up. Slayer is invalidating his time, but it's got a minute left there. So it's all fine and dandy for Slayer. Dan just finishing off his outlap now. So Dan can have another bite of the cherry. I'm not sure if Winnie's going to get around though, because I'm looking at a McLaren, and Winnie is quite a way around the circuit here. Hopefully he's got about less than a minute to go. Across the line comes Anthony, goes 8 fastest for the Aston Martin machine. Great stuff indeed. Where's the next cars coming, I hear you ask it. What about Slayer? Slayer is about to start up now. Swanshanks has done a beautiful toe there and made his way up into 12th fastest. Come on, Swanshanks. I expect a good performance here tonight for the Mercedes driver, albeit Swanshanks doesn't care what I think though, because Swanshanks will do whatever Swanshanks wants. Swanjacks then, and I have a feeling though the Swanjacks going to really show some metal here tonight there. I'm looking for the second kick salver of Siggersmuck, and Siggersmuck is about to cross the line now, and what about Winnie? Winnie is, I think he's missed out. Winnie has missed out here, and that is a shower show for the McLaren team. Stars has also missed out as well, you know. That's not ideal. Smithfield Mighty does not improve his position, stays 9th on the grid. That is a bit disappointed there. I am looking for Albi then, who's down in 15th position, but has found 0.6 of a second. That is in the ballpark of Ashton Army here in the Williams. He might be able to get in the mix of the two Mercedes as well. Here comes Albi, going up to the line now is Albi. What is he going to do? Stays 15th, but finds half a second now. But it's not enough, unfortunately. Astra John then into the final sector now. I'm looking for... What am I looking for? I hear you, I said. I don't know, to be honest. I'm looking for Marsky. It's a 10th of a second up then. Currently, pole position is very much half a second away from Luke at the moment. What about Marsky? Marsky does not improve. He stays in 4th position there. Dan across the line. Dan goes 4th fastest, but he's been outqualified by Dynamo Dan once again here. My goodness me. And Dynamo Dan then using the slipstream for Aston Martin. Now, I don't know which Aston Martin was. Dynamo Dan stays in 3rd fastest. Mercedes in the background of Slayer finishes in 13th position. And here comes Luke. Luke's not enough. And for goodness me, Luke was flying on that lap. But it's just not enough, unfortunately, for Luke. Siggersmuck has found 7,700 a second in the second sector. Love the helmet design now. On board now with Siggersmuck. Then, of course, a Grand Prix winner earlier on this season has got a lot of deployment left. And so this could be a spectacular end to the lap, and Siggersmuck may have got too much battery there, goes 7th fast in the end, but it is going to be Jinner on pole position then for the 4th time in a row, for the 11th time this season, and Jinner's got monopoly on that pole position at the moment. But remember, the championship rounds are ticking down now for Jinner. He needs to start scoring points and scoring big here. Oh my gosh. And that is Jinner's 14th pole position of his career in bronze. Fantastic stuff indeed there for Jinner. But 10 pole position this season alone is pretty impressive stuff indeed. And consider the fact that Jinner was about half a second away. Luke had a fantastic final lap there to move within the 10th of a second. Impressive stuff indeed. Dynamo Dan right up there once again, and Alpine are going to be loving that. And what about Dan? We was talking about this last week. Is the two Alpines going to work together in this Grand Prix? Were they going to work together last week? So I don't think they got a chance, unfortunately, because of all these shenanigans going on. Marsky, the championship leader, in 5th. Messed up my main run. Should have got P11, but let's see what happens in the race then. Good luck all. Good luck all, says Serious Mushroom as well. Then good stuff indeed then. Of course, we've had some sponsors as well, by the way. And of course, we got the ALR shop, remember, and of course, if you want to buy any legendary merchandise, the link is in the description below. I am asking very nicely if the ALR admins can add a Gillette or a gilet or whatever they're called then. It's because I look quite buff in them, to be honest, and especially as a man who doesn't like going to the gym or socialising with anyone, I think that's the second best thing I can do. Of course, and also get some jumpers, especially as it's becoming into the winter months now. It's going to get a bit chilly. So, of course, Sarah, a lovely ALR jumper be suffice. And Serious Mushroom has 4 of them as well. I've got a beautiful pink one. I've also got a sweatshirt as well. However, I've put on a few pounds since I bought it, which means it now looks more like a crop top. And of course, also as well, then if you want any 3D track prints, then of course, if you want this 3D track print, then of course the link is also in the description below as well, which is pretty cool stuff indeed. And of course, they also follow ALR on Instagram. So if you want to follow track maps, 3D track prints on Instagram, go into ALR's Instagram and you'll find them in there as well. Of course, if you haven't given ALR a follow on Instagram, I suggest you do that as well, as you get to see the results, the driver of the day, and all that kind of good stuff indeed then. And hopefully, and of course, actually talking to Luke, Luke offered to do some TikToks for ALR. I noticed that Percy did a beautiful TikTok and tagged ALR in it on Sunday as well. Well, I say beautiful. It was beautiful for Percy, not beautiful for the for his championship contender. Sam Swift Ninja, unfortunately, is unfortunately that was the part where Sam Swift Ninja unfortunately retired in that Grand Prix. Of course, Luke offered to do TikTok, so I need to take him up on that. And I must say, I got permission off the admins about 4 weeks ago now, but I got to give myself a good shift on. Of course, I need to get a old jiggle on, don't I? Not too much of a jiggle because unfortunately I'll knock myself out with my flap. Right, going for the grid then. 14th pole position of his career there for Jenner. Brilliant stuff indeed there. But as I mentioned there, Jenner, it's all about the points now, isn't it? Points means prizes. And and with only round 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 rounds to go, we have the time is running out for Jenner. So Jenner's really got to start to score now. But remember, as I keep saying, season 5, go back and watch it. Jenner is absolutely a monster in the final stage of that championship. Luke, of course, a former Grand Prix winner, has not really lived up to his billing that he used to show in bronze at his previous guys. But Luke there is starting to really find some speed, and especially here tonight. Dynamo Dan is also getting himself involved then, which is beautiful for Dan. And of course, that's going to help Dan. Or is it? Or is it going to take points off of his teammate there? We'll find out then. This is going to get very interesting indeed. In 5th position is Marsky, the championship leader, 24 points lead over second place Dan at the moment there. So at the moment, Marsky has just got to keep Dan in his sights. Stars, brilliant performance from Stars on 6th on the grid there for Stars. Can he get a good result here? Sickers Mug, hard tires in 7th position there. Rocket Lee is 8th with Astra John, and not a great performance from Astra John there. Anthony in 10th position, the second driver on the hard compound tires. Smithy Almighty in the 3rd position in the championship has got a lot of work to do. Smithy has from the 6th row of the grid there, but this man loves good racing, doesn't he? And loves a good race indeed. Then don't know what I was going to say there, but never mind. Let's just carry on with that then. Moomin in 12th position, good result for Moomin once again. Moomin's loving life in as a reserve role. Swan Shanks in Jake the Slayer for row 14. No, row 14, I think it is. Then we got Ashton Army 15th. Albie on soft tires in 16th. Happy 100 for Vintage. Winnie in 18th. Duncan David, Serious Mushroom was left on the grid as Serious Mushroom there, I think had some serious issues there with Duncan David. I didn't read it. I just read half the comments. We got a lovely shot here. It's lights out and it's go. Then I've been completely dumbfounded by that then. Down in turn 1, Luke had a sniff, but then he thought better of it then. So I thought Luke was going to go for a lunch, and there's contact in the back, but nothing more than that. It's just a bit of rubbing is racing, and we're all fine and dandy as we go into turn 2. Both Williams are at the back of the field then. Jenner's had the perfect start. Luke second, Donovan Dan in 3rd position. Marsky's got past his championship rival, and Dan's under increasing pressure already from from Hungry Stars in 5th position. Make that 6, I should say. With Stars doing a great job in 7th position. Nope, with Sickersburg in 7th. Make that Rocket Lee in 7th position as well. Asher John is in 9th. As they've all got away, I think there's a bit of tyre smoke in the background there, but I think that there's been no contact made, or no damage certainly. Ashton Army has gone down 5 positions. He's down into last. Swanshanks is down 5 positions as well. Up 4 is Winnie. Winnie coming through the field like a hot knife through butter. Jenner's already out of DRS range. Luke is having a very conservative open lap here. And Marsky has got in front of Dan. That's a crucial part of this race. And Dan has got to really very much stay the ship here. And make sure he doesn't lose any more positions here. Winnie is now up into 13th position. Goodness gracious me. Winnie is wasting no time here after a disappointing qualifying where he missed out on the checkered flag there as Swan Shanks is not happy with that bollard there and froze it quite fairly out of the way very early on in this race. Go to complete lap 1. No DRS yet. DRS will be available at the end of turn 2, and that's where it's going to get very juicy indeed. But crucially, you have to be within a second of the car in front, and Luke is back in that second, and good stuff indeed. That one completed. Look at the gap there. It's about 9/10 of a second already between Jenner and Luke. 3rd position is Dynamo Dan. Marsky in 4th. 5th is Dan. 6th position is Hungry Stars, followed by Sickersburg, the highest runner on the hard compound tyres. 8th is Rocket Lee with Asher John in 9th. Smithfield Mighty is in the top 10 in that Ferrari. We have got Moomin having a sniff on the rear of Anthony, but nothing more because he can't get past there. We've got Winnie flying through the order in 13th position there. LB using those soft tyres quite nicely indeed then and going himself up into 14th position here. Tricycle clubs around here then. So this race has been one of the longer races of the season so far. We normally go Singapore. The next race is normally the longest race on the calendar, but of course we got the new configuration of Singapore like we did last season, and so we got none of that. The part where Nelson Piquet Jr. decided to crash and cause a safety car on purpose. Of course, the infamous crashgate. Goodness me, I'm gonna be monopolised in a minute. Is that what I called it? I don't know, but anyway, whatever YouTube does for any famous YouTubers, which we are not famous yet then, but however, we can be famous with your help then, if you would all press the like and all that kind of good stuff as well. I'm trying to getting better at this YouTube, Malark, I'm sure I am. It's only taken 5 years. Jenner has now got a second advantage, and it's Astra John and Smithy were very close together then. Goodness gracious me. Overtake down into 14 is not ideal, or 15 as well, to be honest, and it's I almost crashed into Sick as Muck on Wednesday, I think it was. It wasn't an overtake, it was me trying to stop my car, to be fair, which wasn't ideal at all. So back into DRS goes Luke then. So Jinner is not being, so Luke is keeping Jinner within distance here. Now he's in a DRS range as well. Jinner set another fast out the race, followed by Varsky, followed by Dan. So this is crucial at this stage of proceedings, because that means that Jinner is trying to escape then, as Swanshanks is losing out badly here. As Smithy Almighty, that's unusual, and he's out of the Grand Prix, Smithy is, and it's a VSC. So Smithy then, who's very unusual to see Smithy Almighty out of the Grand Prix, but that is our first retirement, and Smithy's left his wheel at the scene of the incident. That is not ideal at all then for Smithy Almighty, and I must say that Smithy Almighty does not retire too often in Formula 1 racing, and that is only his 4th DNF in 66 Grand Prix starts there for Smithy, but that is a major blow for himself and Ferrari tonight. Remember, Ferrari are also fighting the Constructors' Championship as well, but no points for the Scuderia, and it's a perfect opportunity for the Alpine team to reel in that 69 points lead. Oh dear. Movement, of course, is in the Ferrari, but remember, the reserves are not eligible for points then, of course. Oh my goodness gracious me. Smithy out of the Grand Prix, and it's very unusual to see as well. This is a very long VSC at the moment, but the Ferrari car has been cleared. Ignore the gaps at the moment, because they're going to fluctuate. Whilst oh no, Jinner! I think that Jinner and Luke have both got they have both been given drive-through penalties. I think the Kiki had the same issue last night. I think he did, and that is not ideal. Same place as me yesterday, said Camera Racer. Luckily for Smithy though, Smithy retired on lap 2, whilst Camera Racer did all the hard work and retired towards the end of the race then. Or was that reflections? I apologise. Jinner has got a drive-through penalty. That is crucial. Jinner's going to come in the pits now. That is painful. Luke has stayed out. This now means that it's Dynamo Dan, who has not won a race in a very long time here, is the de facto leader, whilst Jinner is in the pits then. Dan's out of DRS range. Look, Jinner is just dropping down the order, but it's not a longish pit lane, but it's certainly enough to really cause the pain of Jinner. Jinner is not last then, but he's down in 15th for this day, so he's got a lot of work to do now. Jinner has said he has come up behind Duncan Dave, but Luke is still out on circuit at the moment. The wall on turn 1 just got me clipped then. Smith Almighty is saying Smith Almighty, as I mentioned, that's only his 4th DNF in 66 Grand Prix starts or something like that. Disappointing stuff there for Smithy Almighty out of the Grand Prix, and unfortunately Smithy Almighty will probably have to speak to Farf now for the rest of the day, rather than racing them, which is shameful stuff indeed. That's your punishment, Smithy, going into the castle section as well. Coming out now. To be honest, I'm going to be honest, I hope that Farp is never my admin when I start if I ever start racing again, because let's just say I'll be getting a penalty just if I breathe, just in case I break wind in the wrong direction. So let's just hope that day doesn't come then. Otherwise, I think Farp is going to absolutely ruin me. Coming down into turn 16, Luke is now under almighty amount of pressure, but now he's also under pressure now for Dynamo Dan as well. I'm trying to look to see when Dynamo Dan last won a Grand Prix. It's back in season 2005. Duncan Dave has lost out to Jinner. Jinner's got to now come through the field here. Here comes Dynamo Dan. Then Dynamo Dan will probably know about Luke's precarious problem here. And I think he was very, very cautious there. And rightfully so for Dynamo Dan. And here comes Marsky on the outside. So almost contact between the two cars. Marsky on the second now. But this is a golden opportunity now for Marsky then to really extend his lead then. And two drivers then who I was thinking was going to be really involved in this championship, in this driver fight tonight then for the Grand Prix lead. Jinner then getting, I think that was a day lane, $1 short there for Jinner. We only caught the end of it there, but I think that Jinner was always going to drive into a race that was going to close, I think then, but that's my opinion anyway. But we'll find out what you guys think at home then. I only caught it very briefly, so if anyone can give me an opinion, that'd be great and stuff indeed then. At the inside there goes Slayer getting past Moving as oh gosh there, and they're almost they're very close together now. Slayer almost like a pinball, they're being knocked against the wall and against the Ferrari. Oh, looking very dicey indeed in this one, isn't it? I got to say, it started off very calmly up until that VSC there. Smooth and Watch has caused absolute anarchy here. So far, it's not going to be too impressed, is he, with the Silver admin? Maybe it's a bit of revenge after the anarchy that happened last night in Silver, potentially. Just watching Slayer then going into the castle section as well. And I got to say, probably is it the most narrowest part of the all the F1 tracks? And I think it is, isn't it? There, it's only like is it 10 meters or something like that? I can't remember what Ted Kravitz said now, or them years ago when he was doing that, doing the track walk for the very first time then, which is pretty cool stuff indeed. I remember seeing it and thinking, what in the blooming hell is that? Just watching Dan. Dan is unfortunately for Luke, then Dan is not going to be his competitor for the near future as Luke comes into the pits now. Marsky takes the lead, then passes Dynamo Dan, who's dropped down to second position. Dynamo Dan is not in the championship fight, so Marsky then has got to be very careful here. Dynamo Dan is not in the championship fight, but Dynamo Dan is the teammate to Dan, of course, and that could get very fruity indeed then in this one. I'm not sure. Jinner is coming to pits then, so has Moomin as well then, so there is damage there on Jinner. Jinner needed to get a good result here tonight. He still can get a good result here tonight, but as Rocket League, and that's going to be tight. How did they get two cars around there? It's fantastic indeed. Astra John, though, also wants to strike whilst the iron's hot there, but Rocket League is having none of it. But unfortunately, Rocket League has lost all kinds of momentum here. And the Red Bull is through. The Aston Martin trying to get through, but no dice at the moment. There's sick and smoke. And now, then, as you can see, look at that. You lose a lot of momentum here. Once you lose momentum, then all of a sudden, all the cars are all over you like a bad suit. Rocket League, unfortunately, dropping behind sick as mug and lost the momentum. The momentum that he lost that also cost him a position into Asher John, who's driving superbly well at the moment, and is my early candidate for star of the race. I'm not going to say driver of the race because it doesn't go well. That's Styles. That is Styles. Oh no! And Styles, who's done a great qualifying, a great start to the Grand Prix, and Styles has come off the circuit at the fast part here. Remember, I think our first season here, Dan Murphy had an almighty shunt here, and I think that he was trying to overtake so was trying to overtake Dan Murphy, and of course it caused absolute chaos, I think, for the rest of the race then. But Styles, unfortunately, in good company about the drivers that have dropped it there, we do not know what happened. There is a safety car now, judging from that board, into the pits. I think it is a safety car because Bert Mylander is parked at the exit of turn 2. So Styles comes into the pit set. So Jinner then is back in this race. Moomin's back in this race as well. Here comes Marsky into the pit set. Oh dear, and Dan is going to have to wait here. How much time is he going to lose? He may not lose too much time because the top three were breaking away nicely. Styles is out of the Grand Prix, and I think with no wing on the car for Styles, I think that he must have lost it coming into the fast kinks here, and with no wing on the car, understeered into the barrier, out of the race. That is heartbreaking for Haas. I think it was first and sixth on the grid, and now unfortunately they're down into one's in 17th position, the other driver is out of the Grand Prix already. Dan only lost one position there, and the only reason why he lost that one position is because of Anthony that stayed out there. Sick as Monk has stayed out as well. I apologise profusely to Sick as Monk because I completely misread that. So this is interesting. And of course, drivers that stay out there. Remember what you heard from the championship leader on Sunday. Goodness me, it's a long old week. On Sunday, remember that Percy thought he made a mistake by not coming in the pits there. But of course, he was the lead car. But now it's Sick as Monk and Anthony, who was a little lower on the grid then. And potentially, because it's quite early on this race then, it's more likely we're going to see a safety car. So the Sigismund and Anthony may have struck gold here, potentially. Ashton Army staying out as well on the medium tyres then, and also Slayer on the medium tyres as well as his Moomin. Jenner and Moomin have not decided to come back to the pits. I was wondering if Moomin may be able to go back onto the hard tyres and get to the end of the race, potentially, on this one here then. Well, let me get rid of all the notifications here. As a goodness me, right then there's Sigismund and leads in. So it's not a VSC, by the way. That graphic in the top right left hand corner is absolute boulder dash, so ignore that. But what, of course, as you can see with your own eyes, we got Bernd Mylander out on circuit. That is, we got three green cars indeed in the chase here tonight. We got Bernd Mylander in the beautiful Aston Martin. Then we got Sigismund in, I think, the equally beautiful Kick Sauber, or is it the Stake F1 Kick Sauber team or something like that? All we know is the Sauber team, and I think actually for the first time this season, Sauber are being the Sauber name is on the ALR Formula 1 grid. I thought that we had the Sauber team in our first season, but we did not. Oh no! What is going on then? And Astra John has unfortunately gone into the back of I think it was the Williams out and has found a 10-second penalty. Winnie has just come. Oh, is it? No, it's Winnie. I apologise. I apologise profusely then. Or no, I'm not sure what's happened here. Actually, I should have probably read the a notification from the race control rather than surmising what's going on. Winnie's in the pits now, and that's a new nose cone there for Winnie on soft tyres for Winnie. Ashton Army actually going on the hard tyres now, because I think that Ashton Army is going to try and go to the end now. I think all the hard tyre runners are going to try and go to the end now, but Ashton Army does have an extra lap. Does have an extra lap then in terms of uses on their tyres, and which could be a interesting proposition for the final stage. And why are these drivers overtaken here? Of course, under safety car, no need for overtaking. Of course, the safety car is for safety, and we're trying to clear up the mess of the Hungry Stars' Haas car, which unfortunately came a cropper in the very fast part of the Old Town section, and then unfortunately understeered into the barrier at the kinks in the final part of the lap then, which is unfortunate for Hungry Stars, because Stars, I think, was on course for a really good position. I think Stars was on course for a podium, potentially in this race where he was fourth at the time then, and you can never count out the action around here. As this hopefully a safety car comes at the end of this lap. There's got beautiful greenery in the final part of the lap here. You can see the City of Wind, or is it the Land of Wind then? And Jinner has now got issues as well. Dinner's got a 10-second penalty for a collision with Moomin. I think the Moomin's gone to the back there. It's gone into the back of a Jinner then, and it's caused Jinner to get a 10-second penalty. That's not ideal. And I think if we come in the pits, that's just going to be really painful indeed there, and that's just going to really hurt Jinner. And so Asher John's got the same issue as well. Moomin just rammed me, says Jinner then, and unfortunately that's painful for Jinner. I think that. That's annoying indeed then, of course. Under the safety car, yes, I understand then, of course, you want to keep up with the back of the car, but to be fair, do not stay right up behind the car. Use a safety car, and of course, I understand more if we was getting going. We are getting going very early on indeed then, so Sigismund has dropped the hammer down already. We just seen Styles talk about his incident in the chat. We'll talk about that in a minute then, when the race settles down from tomorrow then, but we're green here in Azerbaijan then, and we're back racing then. And look at that, and that is Luke then, who is all over the back of Swanshanks, and Swanshanks said that as well. I apologise profusely to Swanshanks as I missed him out then when going through the drivers that have stopped and the drivers that have not stopped there. Jinner's got past Vintage then. Vintage is down into 60th position there. Winnie has got past Ashton. Winnie is going for a quick second stint here, and Duncan Davis off the circuit, facing the wrong way in the McLaren, and it's damaged the end plate on that McLaren as well. And Duncan Dave was on the course trying to bounce back after a really good run of results then in that last time out in Italy. Then, well, I say bounce back, trying to carry on actually his beautiful performance in Italy a week to go then. But unfortunately for Duncan Dave, he's going to he's really been hamstrung there. So Sickers Muck leads Anthony in second position there. Marsky in third position with Dynamo Dan in fourth with Dan fifth. Luke is now back in the action in sixth position there. That's been a brilliant safety car for as Jenner has squeezed past LB and moved himself up to 12th position there. Movement's through as well, but there's more contact there. And what is going on here? And unfortunately there's action all over the show here. And LB then, who is in 13th position on the on the hard tires at the moment there. On board and moving then. Contact with the rear with the barrier there. Winnie is now in 15th position at this moment on the soft tires there. So we're keeping an eye on what Winnie can do here. But oh my goodness gracious me then. It's been action packed to the rear part of the field then, and unfortunately there's two drivers that got damaged already. Here comes Marsky then out from underneath the slipstream and passes Anthony then with no DRS, and there's no DRS for any of these cars then. And look at this Alpine now flying DRS spin enabled now. Dynamo down up in the third position and passes Anthony, and now next target is Marsky. Sickers there might be getting a sinking feeling here because of course as we've got more action here then, and now is Winnie going through and almost into the back of LB, all fine and dandy though. Now look at it back at the front here, and Sickers still leads, and great defending there from Sickers. I suppose he didn't defend at all as something's happened with movement at turn 2 there. Duncan Dave into the pit lane here. So I'm just reading the comments from Hungry Stars, and of course he's not happy with the tyres on this circuit, and we'll elaborate that in just a few moments time. But Hungry Stars for me, Hungry Stars and Smithfield Mighty out of the Grand Prix, two drivers who I thought was going to be big players in this race, but as sick as much, they're having a glancing blow of the barrier there. I don't think he's got damage on that kick Sauber, and so he's all fine and carrying on at the moment there. Oh my word, there, and I'm getting jiggy here, and I need to sit down a minute. Oh my gosh, this is too much for me, I say, too much. Sickers Muck then leads at his Sickers Muck, a Grand Prix winner earlier on in this season, and Kiki said he's going to have a nosebleed. Sickers Muck an experienced hand in ALR Formula 1 these days, and of course a Grand Prix winner as well, but he hasn't kicked on since that Grand Prix win, has he? A bit like Slayer last season. He got a great Grand Prix win earlier on the season, and unfortunately just dropped down the order. But here comes Marsky, and Marsky the championship leader at the moment. Marsky is, and he could potentially extend it with Dan there, down in 5th position. Here comes Marsky, takes the lead in the RB, and is now then can he rocket it away here? Astra John up into 6th position there. Swanshank 7th, Rocket Lee 8th, 9th is Slayer, Serious Mushroom up into 10th position there. Jenner flying into turn 1 there. Goodness gracious me, I thought he wasn't going to stop the car. And but now then Marsky, can he rocket away here on fresher tyres, on the fresher hard tyres? Now he should be able to use... was that contact there? That was certainly very close there to the back of Marsky. And now Dynamo Dan followed by Anthony, Dan and Luke, then they've all condensed up here. There is Luke in the second Aston Martin. Oh my goodness gracious me, I'm not sure if they came to blows then or if it was just very close there. Sickers Muck is harvesting, and Sickers Muck is going to be out of DRS range there as Marsky is trying to scamper away. They've got another queue of cars behind at Swanshanks there. No overtake at this part of the circuit then. You have to be very much follow the leader in this one there, but you've got to keep it clean and precise. Luke absolutely using so much commitment in that Aston Martin for the castle section. Dynamo down then, can he get through going down into turn 15 now? Of course this is going to get very precarious indeed. I think the Dynamo Dan's going to think better of it then, but he's losing time, hand over fist, that is down into turn 15 now. Goodness gracious me, they take so much speed through these corners, absolutely ridiculous. Jenner's now through past Serious Mushroom up into 11th position. Serious Mushroom in 12th. Jenner's got a 10-second penalty after issues with himself and Moomin there. I'm not sure, I think in terms of penalties that might have to be reviewed after the race then, and see how that one transpires, but that could cost Jenner. But let's see how that transpires first. It's not over yet then. Coming up to the line now, Duncan Dave's got a 3-second penalty for multiple winners. I think that's a lot of frustration there for the McLaren driver after issues at turn 2, I think it was. And now here comes Dan through, and Luke's also through as well, getting past his teammate then, down into turn 1 then. And surprisingly, Sigismund is still in second position. Why do I say that? Because I thought with DRS there, Sigismund might be a bit of a sitting duck there, but he's not, is he? But Luke is not either, because here comes Luke then, all over the Dan here. Then Luke is going this way and that way. Dan is not going to be deterred by that though. Astro John is past Swanshanks there, and now coming through as well is Jinner up the inside there. Jinner trying to make a recovery drive, and after issues on the opening stage of this Grand Prix, Jinner just getting out from underneath the car in the foreground now. I think he is just trying to antagonise Astro John then, but Astro John is not going to fall for that one there. Just on board now with Dynamo Dan as that's coming into the castle section there, and we have got Serious Mustard getting past Slayer, or are they? Because that's a very unusual place for Serious Mustard get his elbows out and get it past the Mercedes driver, and now Serious Mustard is the meat in that Mercedes sandwich. So back at the front then, as this is getting very interesting indeed. That Stars and this game is so rubbish that I keep losing my rears again. Tires are so unpredictable on this track then. My tires were rubbish after 5 laps, had the same issue 100% last week, and only on this track. You know what, Stars? I had exactly the same problem. Exactly the same problem in 100%, where my tyres were alright, but then after like lap 10 or 11, they just fell off the cliff, like completely and utterly. My rear tyres was absolutely overheating like nothing, and then all of a sudden, then all drivers just getting past me left, right and centre. I came in the pits early to try and get rid of it, but ironically, my hard tyres was absolutely beautiful. So very interesting indeed. Then when I put a second set of medium tyres on, that didn't happen at all. It's very odd then. It might have just been the fuel load potentially, but I do feel your pain, Stars, because I had the same problem in 100%, and it was getting really annoying because I was up to 8 for that point then, but I got to admit it was kind of circumstance. Here comes Dynamo Dan now up into second position. Sigismund driving a superb race. Dynamo Dan's gone very deep into turn 3, and Sigismund, wow, goodness me, and oh my word, and I thought that that was going to be Luke going through as well, but Dan doing a great job to repel the attack from Luke, and that is crucial because that is full position. Yes, all these positions are full positions, but of course, as Dynamo Dan having a look then, as lovely shots here from on board then for the former runner-up in ALR Bronze then. These positions are full positions if you get the cut of my jib then, but of course, Sigismund needs to pit then, so does Anthony as well, and Anthony is just being towed along quite nicely at this stage there, but if there's no safety cars or anything like that, Sigismund and Anthony would be dropped out of this gaggle of cars, but if a safety car's out, then both those stars are in good position here. Oh, that's not good though for Rocket Lee. Rocket Lee is lost out then to 2 drivers, unfortunately. We didn't see what happened there. Camera racer, the fronts are so cold, the rears are hot at this track then. It's a rubbish game then. Yes, I'm glad that you guys have said that, because I thought it was just me. And I was getting very frustrated on 100% on Wednesday as well, because I didn't hear any issues there from the other drivers, and I thought it was just me, to be honest, and I thought I was just being rubbish at looking after me tyres, which is nothing unusual. Whoa, my gosh! And here comes Dynamo, here comes Dada, contact, more contact then, and Luke is over in third position, Sigismund is fourth, and Dynamo Dan is going to be ruined that. Do you think that Dynamo Dan then has taken too long to get past Sigismund there? Is that Dynamo Dan there not being able to get past the kick Sauber quick enough, and has that cost him major points in this race there? That may have cost him a podium there for Dynamo Dan, unfortunately. There. If I could speak, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? That's kind of the main part of my job here tonight. But Dynamo Dan has not got past Sigismund, and because he hasn't got past Sigismund, he has now lost out to Dan and Luke as well. So Luke is now in third position there. Dan is in second, and he is now losing 7 points so to his championship rival Marski. Marski's got a 3¼ second lead over Dan and Luke then. Sigismund will probably drop back now because of his tyre life, and of course, as I mentioned then already, Sigismund and Anthony has not pitted yet, whilst the other drivers in this gaggle of cars, as Dynamo Dan might be a bit frustrated frustrated with himself here by not being able to get the job done. But for Dynamo Dan then, as they're on board with Dynamo Dan, but then again, Dynamo Dan possibly just wants some points here. However, a driver of his caliber, a driver with Grand Prix wins, multiple podiums as well, I think he'd be happy to be back up in the top, but I think the Dynamo Dan there possibly will rather have a podium rather than just sit beyond there and get points. So I don't believe that for a second there. As I just think the opportunities hasn't presented Dynamo Dan there, and I've got the telemetry on, which is not ideal. On board now with Dynamo Dan then, as he is still struggling to get past. I'm wondering also as well, is the setup configuration of that Alpine compared to the Kick Sauber. We'll find out now, is Seekers Mark having a sniff, but nothing more than that. At the moment, they're all kind of status quo there. Status quo then. I have so much pace here. I've missed big points today. Says slow. That's what's happened. As I was reading the comments then, and now Sickers Bucket's lost out then, and I'm not sure if he got a bit squirrely, but here comes, and look at that once again. I think the Dynamo Dan is struggling for straight line pace here, and this is costing him in the traffic there. Look at the two in front there. Luke and Dan have now got about half a second advantage. They're back on board with Dynamo Dan, and it might be mission critical now for his Grand Prix to get past this Kick Sauber ASAP if he can there. Of course, he's not sat there, he's not sat behind just because he's enjoying the view. I'm sure it's a beautiful view, but Dynamo Dan wants to get through because he wants to be after that podium. He can potentially help his teammate as well, and the only driver that's not harvesting at this stage there is Dynamo Dan, so that would tell me that he's got a lot of energy in this car, and he's going to really potentially deploy it down the back straight there. 18 cars still remain in this race, and we're over half distance now in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Our fourth and final race here in Azerbaijan. Of course, we have the 100% gold, silver, and now bronze here tonight. After bronze, then here tonight, then for the championship of ALR gold, silver, and bronze. And of course, we are on a 2-week break then, mainly because of the F1 calendar. Of course, you've got the United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas on Sunday, and then of course next week is the Grand Prix in Mexico City. I think it's the Mexican City Grand Prix rather than Mexico's Grand Prix these days. And of course, that is why ALR is missing 2 weeks. Of course, so that's going to be a 2-week break then, and I think the drivers wants to finish on a high here, don't they? This is kind of the late summer break or early winter break potentially. Of course, 100%. Then tomorrow night, of course, is the last ALR action then for 2 weeks as well. Of course, we have a little sneak preview about what is to come in Singapore. Winnie is in the wall, and I think was following the Mercedes car too close, damaged the end plate there, and I think that's frustration for Winnie, and he's out of the race there, and that is more frustration. That is a safety car for Winnie, and I'm not sure if it was understeer that caught Winnie out there or if frustration potentially, but it's a safety car, and that is played into the hands of Sickers Mac and Anthony very nicely indeed. Unfortunately, it's not playing to the hands well for Marsky in this race, and potentially Dynamo Dan either. To be fair, I think there might be some very miffed faces on the pit wall there after that incident from Winnie potentially, but we'll find out that of course no pointing fingers here in the commentary box. I do it a lot, to be fair. I should probably sit on the fence. Into the pits there comes Albie, and also Duncan Dave into the pits as well for the McLaren team then. So as Winnie probably a bit frustrated there in the McLaren team, and that's the third retirement and our second safety car here tonight. So this is prime position, I think, for the medium tyres, I would say. It's how we're going to roll the dice and go on soft tyres there. Winnie done 8 laps on those soft tyres, and I think we're starting to lose time there, which possibly also may have accounted for the issue coming into the pit, coming into turn 2 potentially. But this safety car is going to bunch up the order, and I think anyone who's on the hard tyres has got a free pit stop now to come in for the mediums. He's going to be paying for Astro John and Jinder then. Of course, they both got 10-second penalties for potentially not their faults then, and the faults of the driver behind them potentially. But I'm just surmising, as we did not see the issues on stream then. Dan is into the pits. I thought he was staying out then, to be honest. It's Sick as Muck flying into the pits and doing a bit of drifting, and maybe a bit of contact there with the wall for Sick as Muck. And Jenner has stayed out then, as Smithfield Monty has had enough of this and has left the session there. And of course, there's Asher John has stayed out as well. So those two drivers stayed out because they're concerned. Sick as Muck's gone soft here. Interesting. We'll talk about that in just a few moments' time. But Marsky second, Dan in third, Lucas fourth. 4th, Sigurd Muck 5th. Dynamo Dan is dropping down the order now, isn't it? It's just getting it's going a bit wrong for Dynamo Dan. Lovely shot from a garage there. We couldn't see what garage it was because it was very zoomed in. Vintage on this 100th Grand Prix start tonight. Happy 100 there for Vintage. And of course on the hard tires. Serious Mushroom on the medium, that new mediums. Rocket Lee on mediums as well. Swan Shanks also on the soft tires along with Sigurd Muck. I think that might be a stretch too far from this commentator's opinion, but this commentator's opinion is almost as useful as a chocolate fire guard then. Which is what me old grandparents used to say to me, especially, you're as useful as a chocolate fire guard, which I gotta say, I absolutely agree with that. Of course, if you don't get that saying, or not old enough to get that saying, then, well, yeah. I hope you get that saying, because, yeah, chocolate mounts next to fire. So, there we go. I've just dropped my bottle. Potentially, no one knows what a chocolate fire guard, what a fire guard is these days. To be fair, why is Dynamo Dan slowing down? Oh, he's okay now. I think that they're just letting Sigurd Muck back through. I was going to say, I don't think many people probably know what a chocolate fire guard is these days, are they? Because you all have central heat and all that kind of stuff. However, even though if it is quite even if it is quite expensive to run, I must say then, of course, that you might have to get the old fire back then. Good job, I live in the woods, to be fair, so I can just go out to become a lumberjack and then start swinging my axe around and getting some old wood on the fire then. Not sure where my fire would go, to be fair, but I'm sure I can figure something. Maybe put it in the bathroom, so it's easy to put out then. I'd advise not doing that if anyone everyone is silly enough to listen to me, which I hope you're not. Not many people listen to me when I'm talking about strategy, so certainly not when you're talking about what ways to get warm. There's some better ways to get warm, but that is certainly not one of them. So Jenner then is leading this race. And safety car is out at the moment. Duncan Dave is just going to catch at the back of this crocodile. Jenner leads on the hard tires, but it's got damage on the end plate there. So Jenner is going to be understeering, especially in that final sector. Astra John is second in the Red Bull. There is Astra John. Both of them got 10-second penalties there. If they come in the pits, they would have both served that 10-second penalty as well. So I'm wondering if that's the reason why they haven't come in the pits there. Which, not ideal, is it really? Especially for those penalties weren't there full. Marsky third. Dan in full position. Marsky is going to be pretty disappointed by this safety car. Then that has brought Dan back into play. Marsky was about 5-6 seconds up the road. Did a great job on that stint there. But now back on the medium tyres. Dan has brought himself back into this one. He needs to. The gap in the championship is 24 points. Luke, what a drive from Luke. In a fifth position now. Qualified on the front row of the grid, and then since then it's been very much fighting with the top runners here. And I think that potentially, from Marsky's point of view, he'll be happy for Luke to be involved in this kind and these scraps at the front then, because that'll be less points on hand then with the likes of Luke and Jenner scoring points here. Sigurd Muck in sixth position on the soft tyres there. I got a question mark over the soft tyres because I'm not sure if they're going to make it to the end then. But let's see how this goes, because Winnie did 8 laps on those soft tyres. Donovan down in 10th position on the medium tyres. Anthony in 8th on the medium tyres. Vintage has stayed out, of course. Happy 100th Vintage out on 11 lap out hard tyres. Serious Mushroom in 10th on the medium tyres. Rocket Lee is 11th on the medium as well. Slayer in 12th position on the medium. Then we've got Swan Shanks in 13th on the soft. Ashton Army there, who's on hard tyres in 14th position. Albie in 15th position there on the medium tyres. Moving on the soft tyres with Duncan Dave also on soft tyres as well. If Duncan Dave catches up, then we could potentially get this race running. Excuse me. I've got a bit of a cough coming. I might have to have tomorrow off then, as I'm not very well. Gonna try and implement chaos and pick up a point then. Gonna try and avoid the impending chaos. Not implementing chaos, goodness me. That was implied that this Slayer's going to cause the chaos. Good gracious me, I'll never say such a thing, Slayer. We've also got Cameron, who sounds like Little Red Riding Hood there. Oh, I see. Serious Mushroom there. Just having a bit of using this opportunity under the safety car now to have a nose in the comments there, which is good stuff indeed then. However, I'm going to be honest, lap 18, lap 19 then, I think the later the safety car comes out, the more it's going to play into the hands of the soft runners then. I would hazard a guess in this one. By the way, thank you very much for joining us tonight then. It's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure there to have a natter review on this splendid Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to make the most of it, as I'm going to be put back in me box for 2 weeks after tonight. Well, no, after tomorrow, because I'm allowed out for 2 hours tomorrow to have a tackle of Singapore, and then Alex and Farf and Smithy be locking me back away. It's like Father Christmas, really, isn't it? I do look like Father Christmas as well, to be honest. Unfortunately, I haven't got a bushy white beard. It's not even ginger beard either, to be honest. I don't know what it is. It's more of I don't know how to describe it. It's a bit of bum fluff, to be honest. I suppose that's the best way to describe it. On board Jinner at the moment, then who's done 13 laps on these hard tyres. I would have gone soft if I knew if this safety car is going to take so long. I think, Jinner's off the circuit there, and he's done a Roman Grosjean there, and he has spun the car around, but goodness me, I don't think Ericsson hit him on this occasion, but Jinner has lost out majorly, and now there's all chaos, and as the drivers are trying to let him back through. Oh dear, then Jinner, then I think, yes, he was trying to warm up his tyres, and maybe a bit too viciously, and now Vintage has got a 10-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. That may be rescinded at this one, because technically I think the game for the Vintage overtook Jinner whilst Jinner was trying to recover back onto the circuit, but Jinner has lost the lead, and the rolling the dice and staying out on these hard tyres, and Jinner's going to be so frustrated there, and one of the most unluckiest gentlemen in Grand Prix racing there, Jinner is at the moment there, with frustration, 10-second penalties, potentially not his fault as well, and also issues and drama there for Jinner. Jinner is always at the front of the field, but the races like this, it just goes always a bit peak talk there for Jinner. So we're going back racing in just a jiffy there. We got about 7 laps to go in this race there, and now it's Astra John going to lead us away. I think this is Astra John's first safety car restart then at the front, and I must say, Astra John, all eyes are on you, my good sir. I have to admit that this is probably, I hate to be the safety car restarter, I must say. Of course, we said earlier on then that I think it was Jinner who had a restart right from the get-go, and you can see that as Astra John is budging up, then it is his prerogative. As long as you don't start and stop, then you're all fine and dandy there. And Astra John then is waiting to the very end there. Of course, he's probably doing this because he's got very old hard tyres on now, and as I stress that, it is his prerogative to, but when is he going to go? When is he going to go then? And look at them all, they're all like ravaging wolves, and they're frothing at the mouth, and here we go then, on lap 20 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Astra John then has had a decent start, to be honest, and Dan going down the inside, or trying to. Jinner has gone down the inside as well. Was there contact there? I thought he said a bit of contact, but we're all fine, and there's a Mercedes gone wide in the background as well, as now Vintage there, it's Jinner almost into the barrier there. Marsky all over the gearbox now of Astra John, and Marsky going to take the lead then on fresh medium tyres there, and it's going to be quite an easy overtake there. That's crucial, but there's contact between the two cars, and as I say, it might be easy, it's not either, but that's an important moment there for the that's the Sickers Muck is up in the 4th position there, using those soft tyres to his advantage beautifully, and now Luke is trying to get past. Well, Dan's behind us, Luke. Then I did not see that at all then, going into turn 1 then, and look at this, and now Lucas, this is a crucial on this race then. Lucas through, contact there, Astra John is not having any of it there, and Lucas through, and up into 3rd position there, contact there, that's getting very hairy indeed between Astra John and Luke then, but Luke is gone now, so what can Dan get back in front of Sickers Muck then? Sickers Muck is stuck behind Astra John then, so this is a perfect opportunity then. Sickers Muck then is never shy for an overtake here, having a look down in turn 15, not quite then, but he's going to get a good run then out of turn 16. I suspect that no DRS yet then, of course, then. And now who's that? That's Dan fighting with Dynamo Dan here, and the two Alpines that are getting very close together here, and my goodness gracious me then, of course, remember that Dynamo Dan is not in the championship fight, whilst Dan is, of course, there, and that's just getting very twitchy on the Alpine pit wall. Goodness gracious me, suckling blur, and we got Sickers Mutt then up into 3rd position now. I don't even know where everyone is. The DRS has now been enabled then. Here comes Jinner, of course, trying to get the comeback. Oh my goodness gracious me, going down into turn 1. Oh, who's that? I don't know. Oh, contact between the two cars as Jinner and Donovan down there, former championship rivals then, are renewing their rivalry here tonight then, one more time. Oh my word. And now back with Astra John then. Dan is now in 5th position, Dynamo Dan is in 6th, Jinner is in 7th position. Here comes Anthony, having a look, but nothing more than that, then going down into, and who's that? That's Jinner going off the circuit there, and I think that's frustration there for Jenna. Yellow flag then is for the Haas car, and it's been a nightmare day for the Haas team, unfortunately, in bronze tonight, and there's going to be a lot of frustration on the Haas pit wall. Just going back here to this battle here. Now, Marsky's got a 7/10 for a second over Luke then, but then Sigismund's got a 2.5 disadvantage over himself and Luke then. So at the moment then, Luke is potentially looking for his second Grand Prix win of his career here tonight then in Azerbaijan, which would be fantastic stuff indeed there for Luke. But Marsky then, who would be very much begrudging that safety car, I am sure of it. Here comes Dan then. Dan all over the back of Astra John. Dan there just needs to wait whilst he gets DRS in, because Dan needs to make a safe overtake here to keep himself in the championship, especially Marsky then leading this Grand Prix. Marsky, Luke, Dynamo Dan and Sigismund, your drivers today. Get your votes in, ladies and gentlemen, there, as it is very important for the drivers. And of course, as I must admit, and my driver of the day vote really made my frown go upside down. After I think it was Miami where I got my driver of the day, fantastic. Or was it Monza? Oh my word! And Dan now finishing fourth position. Dynamo Dan is over to fifth. That's crucial for Dynamo Dan because here comes Mushroom then going up the inside of Astra John as well. And Sirius Mushroom up into sixth position now. Great pass indeed there for Sirius Mushroom, and through he goes then. So Dan's got a second disadvantage over himself in 6 months. 6 months on the soft tire. That podium may come back then to the two Alpines. Sirius Mushroom up into sixth position, then under the radar as such for Sirius Mushroom, because up until this point then Sirius Mushroom was near the echelons of the top 10 there. Now he's in the heart of the top 10 and in a superb sixth position. Anthony though still behind Astra John. Then Anthony would like to have got past Astra John. That's not the case. When Astra John is racing, of course, that he's not got no blue flags. This is not Astra John's doing nothing wrong here. He is racing for points, and that's exactly what everyone is here for. They're racing for points at the very least, and potentially podiums and Grand Prix wins as well. So I don't think Anthony wants. Anthony would love Astra John to get out of the way, but I think the racer inside Anthony is like, no, let's have a race then. And I think Anthony's going to enjoy this as well a bit. Anthony would also like to get a move on as well. It is Moomin is through past Slayer. Slayer then is on the outside still, and they go side by side here. Goodness me, this is going to get very precarious indeed. That Moomin there almost losing the car. But Slayer is through and over to 10th position. That is crucial for Slayer, and unfortunately disappointing for Moomin then. Of course, remember the Constructors Champions leaders Ferrari are not going to score points like Alpine are currently 4th and 5th, and Dan is flying out here, absolutely flying. Lap 23 out of 26 here, and of course Marsky is now at 9/10 of a second away, but it's not enough. Marsky is really putting the hammer down here, trying to drop Luke, but he can't. Dan is at the fast lap race. Remember, you get a bonus point for fastest lap. Rocket Lee and Anthony is through past Astra John, who is now dropping down to third position. The harder tires head, unfortunately, is not giving Astra John the grip that he wants here. Unfortunately, coming out of turn 3, I think. Nope, it's turn 2, Sean. You got it right in the end. Here comes Mushroom. Let's go for Dynamo Dan here, and up the inside, and Mushroom is through. Dynamo Dan is down into 6th position, and the Mushroom is through. Dynamo Dan down in 6th position there. But it's great to see Dynamo Dan very much up and fighting for these big points. And Dynamo Dan, of course, has been in the wilderness, hasn't he, most of the season. But he's really, but in the last couple of races, he's really found something, has he, in this Alpine car, and it's looking good. Remember, he did well in Monza as well a week ago, and this is a completely different track, albeit in terms of how fast he goes. My goodness gracious me, it does feel like we are touching Monza speeds in some occasions. But this is a completely different track there, and Dynamo Dan is once again shining on this track, which means that I think that he has nailed down the performance of this Alpine, and really Alpine there will be very happy to see Dynamo Dan's performance and potentially making an assault on the Constructors Championship, which I don't think Dynamo Dan cares about too much, but I certainly do. Dynamo Dan is more concerned about the World Championship, which I'm sure that he and all his fans feel that he potentially could have and should have won the championship a few seasons ago. Dan now all over the gearbox and 6 months, the soft tires have been falling away potentially. Luke is now 7/10 of a second back at the moment, with Marsky in the lead of the Grand Prix. Dynamo Dan has got back past Sirius Mushroom there, and just as Dynamo Dan's done that, Dan is now up into third position there, getting past Sigismund, and up into third position there. Sigismund there, quicker than a hiccup, especially down the straights. I'm back on board with Sigismund on the soft tyres. Sigismund has been superb in this race, really has indeed. And of course, staying under the first safety car got him into contention, and then since then he's been a thorn in the side of most of the front runners here. here. There is Luke then just catching onto the back of Marski. Marski needs an absolutely mighty second sector to get himself out of DRS. And I think he's been trying to do that for the last couple of laps or so. Dynamo Dan is now going to be towing these drivers along now. So Dynamo Dan is now basically the train, and there are all the carriages from behind. Goodness me. There you go. I'm trying to sound clever on absolutely anything, but Rocket Lee up into 8th position. Good stuff indeed then. And then we got Asher John in 9th. Kind of in no man's land at the moment. Now, 10th position is Slayer, who's doing a good job and getting some points as well. Slayer is outside the points. Duncan Dave at 11th to 11th position. He does have a 3-second penalty. Duncan Dave does. Jinner set the fast of the race. Going for that bonus point. Jinner is, but Jinner probably be disgruntled about how this race has transpired again. Unfortunately for the Haas driver there. And Jinner then is going to be asking, when is he going to get some luck in this championship? Because it does feel like that Jinner always gets all the bad luck. On board with Mushroom, who is in the Williams and is certainly going to be hunted down. Dynamo Dan with just 2 laps to go. And at the moment, Luke is just sitting happily behind Marski. And I wonder if Luke is waiting until the very final lap then to potentially go for the Grand Prix win. Anthony is now starting to cause a major problem for Mushroom and also a major problem for Dynamo Dan as well. But they've kind of spread out ever so slightly there. Sigismuk is now starting to fall into the clutches of Dynamo Dan here. That is perfect news for Dynamo Dan. Here comes Mushroom. I think he's just too far back though. That 25 out of 26. There's Dan on 3rd position and on the podium as well. Sigismuk now is in DRS range of Dynamo Dan. And Dynamo Dan, I think, needed that extra DRS to keep himself from being overtaken by Mushroom and Anthony. That is good news there for Dynamo Dan. Not so good news for Mushroom and Anthony. Not so good news for Sigismuk either. But I think that the Alpine team will be happy about that anyway. Marski leads by just under a second now. Sigismuk then is almost losing out then into that very short straight there. That, I think, to me, those tyres are gone. Those tyres are gone. There's no tracks at all. And there's going to be causing all kinds of chaos now with just 1.5 laps to go in this race. And there is Dynamo Dan. And look at that then. Sigismuk is very slower than a slow thing at the moment then. Because I think those soft tyres are completely gone there for Sigismuk. It's just struggling, and the soft tyres around here are not very good in terms of longer stints here. Well, we've done 8 laps around here, and I think Slayer might be happy he didn't go on the soft tyres then, judging from Sigismuk's performance now. Duncan Dave is still in 11th position though. We'll see how well Duncan Dave does, but Albi is now oh goodness me, Dynamo Dan is almost pushing that Kick Sauber out there, and now we've got a gaggle of cars here. I'm also keeping an eye on the front then, because Luke is catching on Marski, then this will be his final chance as going for the Grand Prix lead here. Where is Luke then? Here comes Luke then, but I think he's too far back at the moment. He is too far back, but Dynamo Dan is in, and Dynamo Dan is going for Sigismuk, and Dynamo Dan is going wheel to wheel down the back straight then. Goodness me, they're almost touching. There's 4 abreast going down here. Oh goodness me, Sigismuk dives in there, forces Dynamo Dan wide, and Dynamo Dan somehow keeps it in the field of play, but then they're going side by side again then. Someone's going to have to back out here, but they don't. That's incredible racing. This is racing at its absolute best then. And here comes Serious Mushroom as well. Serious Mushroom is taking off like a rocket ship, having a look. Oh no, Dice said. And Dan there, we thought he got the job done, and somehow Sigismuk. What a drive on that final straight there. And Dynamo Dan back on the outside. And my goodness me, Sigismuk is causing all kinds of shenanigans. Contact. And now Serious Mushroom on the outside. On the inside, contact again then. Serious Mushroom and Sigismuk have all come into blows of each other. And they may have a bit of damage, but they haven't gone long. Serious Mushroom there is ricocheting off Sigismuk, and Serious Mushroom is up that way through and up into 4th position. There's contact. Serious Mushroom's been knocked off the circuit there. Oh goodness me! And unfortunately, it was getting a bit too tight down the back straight. And look at this, and they're all just parking up now. And Serious Mushroom and Sigismuk might be on a world war of words. That Astra John's also got himself involved as well. And then here comes Slayer as well. My goodness gracious me! And one incredible end to that race this race has been there. Marski then is coming out to the final turn then, and this is a crucial race win for Marski, but can Luke do it then? Luke is coming and here he comes then, but I think the finish line is just going to come in the nick of time for Marski. Marski wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix by 0.2 of a second and extends his lead in the World Championship by an additional now free by an additional 10 points. And 34 points. The gap is now going into Singapore in 2 weeks' time. That is crucial in this one, in this World Championship. That is Marski's. Hang on a minute. That is Marski's 5th Grand Prix win of his career, and his 15th podium as well. This is a crucial Grand Prix win potentially in terms of how the championship is going to end up in this one. Oh my goodness gracious me. G says pot stuff. Ultimate Beast and Mushroom there with tier emoji as well. Marski and Luke gets 44% of the vote there, first and second in this race as well. Well, I have no qualms about that. That was a very intense final stages of this race. Then, my word. But I think there's going to be some war of words at the end of this one, I feel, after it got very, very dicey and potentially Six Muck and Serious Mushroom coming to blows then and cost each other some points there, potentially. But Marski punches the air. It's his 5th Grand Prix win of his career and is now 34-ish points in front of Dan, who finished 3rd today. That is going to be, this is potentially a race we look back on and think that is where the championship was won and lost potentially. Or it could have been the race before. Marski there on top of the podium, and I think you'll be absolutely overjoyed with that performance there. I was saying the team might have been a bit ragey about the safety car, but he's pulling behind him now. The new team on the block, Bronze here in the RB, and going to be their first season, and they could potentially be having a champion on their books there. Fantastic indeed. But Marski spraying the bubbly, has extended the championship there. He's not looking back now, Marski isn't. And I think we've got about 7 rounds to go in this title race. We have still got a lot of trials and tribulations still to go in this one. No sprint races, of course. In the final classification, Marski won the race there by his 5th race of the season of his career. There. 2/10 of a second away is Luke. Both those two got drawn today. Dan in 3rd position there, with Dynamo Dan in 4th, with Anthony 5th, Seekers Muck in 6th, with Mushroom 7th, Slayer in 8th position. Albie, great drive to getting 2 points on the first points of his season. 9th, with Duncan Dave in 10th, Astro John in 11th, 12th is Real Ashton. Good job again. Vintage on his 100th Grand Prix start in 13th position. Moomin 14th, Jin in 15th. I think Rocket Lee and Swanshanks also finished higher up as well. Retirements, Winnie Styles and Smithy Almighty out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately. As I'm just quickly catching my breath then, but before I do so, we've got some guests in the commentary box as well. And Marski, win number 5, now 34 points in the championship lead is the headline coming out of this one. You must be overjoyed with this result.
Yeah, it's come with a bit of a shock, this victory, to be fair. So generally not very good round here, which seems like a lie after watching that back. But yeah, it was a bit of a shock win, to be fair.
I'm going to call your bluff then, because you looked absolutely like a master up there. But the late safety car, I was surmising that you was probably not too happy with the McLaren driver crashing there. Was you concerned by that late safety car potentially costing you the Grand Prix win?
Yes, I was touching cloth a little bit. I thought this is where it ends. And I just got to a point then I was going to be happy just to finish on the podium, but I managed to hold him off in the end.
And as I mentioned, then, before we go to the championship, throughout this race, then we did have we had 2 safety cars. Was the strategy quite straightforward from your point of view, then, just pitting under the 2 safety cars, or was you thinking about throwing a curveball in there, or did you not need to throw a curveball in this one?
To be fair, a lot of different strategies ran through my mind, to be fair, but I knew on the first safety car after pitting for the hards, I was like, I've got to go on the softs, because if anyone else goes on the softs, I'm going to be a sit and duck. So I just tried to put myself on the fastest tyre at the right time, and if it paid off, and which thankfully it did.
We've now got a 2-week break then, and you've kind of finished. Well, you finished on a high here in Baku. Then this is a perfect way to go into the 2-week break. Would you say, or would you rather be keeping up this momentum?
I think I'd rather be keeping up this momentum. Why I've got a striking hot at the minute, but a break's as good as a win as well. Could come back fresh, could come back faster. or I could come back slower. It just depends what everyone else does in the break.
You got a 34 point ish lead in the championship. Um, can you relax? Because that's quite a big gap in this championship.
I think if you relax, you start going backwards. So I need to keep pushing, keep licking the stamps and sending it, and hopefully stay on that top spot.
And of course, we are in the heart of two very difficult Grand Prix in Baku, and Baku in Singapore, and you've won this one then. So same again in Singapore, I reckon then.
Hopefully, yeah, it's not another strong track for me, even though it seems like I'm telling fibs, but I'll work hard at it again. I've had 3 setups for this race today, and I didn't know which one to pick before I come out in quali, and thankfully I picked the right one.
Three setups, blimey. I struggled to get one on the go. Fantastic stuff. Well done, Barsky. Brilliant job today with your fifth Grand Prix win of your career. Luke, this is the first podium that you've got this season then. Up until this point, your best result was at the Dutch Grand Prix a few races ago. But having said that, you've been scoring points ever since Hungary then, and now you've finally got your podium then. But are you happy with this podium, or are you disappointed that you didn't get the win? You was only 0.2 of a second away.
Well, firstly, congratulations to Marsky, pushing right to the end there. I think if you look at it on paper, I am disappointed to go from second to second. But if you actually look at the race, getting a drive-through after the first virtual safety car, really being in the thick of it for most of the race, very happy with P2. Obviously, ruining what could have been, but that's not going to do me any good. So to go from to be 0.2 off a potential first win of the season, I'll take a podium. It's Baku. There's no guarantees you're going to finish this race, so I'm more than happy with P2.
Is this a one-off result, or is this now a turn in the corner? This is a change of the tide for you in this season.
It's definitely a confidence booster going into sort of the last third of the season. I think it is. I'm starting to change a corner. I'm actually, I think, getting acclimatized to this game. I've got a race engineer who actually gives me setups. It's thanks to his setup that I was a bit of a terrorist down the straights. I'm sure Bavsky can attest to my straight line speed. But it's not going to be perfect. I'm not saying I'm going to get a podium next time out in Singapore, because there were some really rapid guys who were unfortunate tonight or didn't race. But the goal for the rest of the season is scoring points in every race.
And of course, as I mentioned to Marcy, we are in the heart of two very difficult races, Azerbaijan and Singapore. It's a nightmare for me. But I bet for you guys, I'd say bring it on again then. Singapore is another street race then. So you did mention that you're probably not going to get a podium every time. But another street race, another podium, a win?
I don't know about a win, considering the rapid guys in this division this season. But I wouldn't bet against the podium. I'm definitely going to get my head down over the next couple of weeks, get some practice in, get some setups just to try things out. I quite like Singapore, even on this year's game. So I will always be pushing. I have my own personal goals. For me, this season is about learning of this game, getting used to it, understanding setups with full eyes to next season. So looking forward to Singapore, but I know that can also be a very tricky track to finish at.
Yeah, and it's a long one as well. You talked about your personal goals there. Our viewers want to know, what are those personal goals? Could you enlighten us on those personal goals? Is it to finish? Is it to finish as high up as possible in the championship, or is it Grand Prix wins? What's your personal goal for the remainder of the season?
My personal goal, my goal that I've always had since day one is to beat Mushroom in every race I can. But my proper season-wide goal is I'm aiming for the top 10 in the drivers. Considering I started so late in the season, if I can get top 10 in the drivers' championship, I will be more than satisfied. And of course, with my teammate, hopefully trying to push Aston Martin up, potentially 6th in the constructors. Those are my sort of goals on paper, looking at the statistics and the points at the end of the season. But if I can end this season knowing that I've given it everything in the last 7 races, everything that I can leave a weekend going, I didn't leave a stone unturned, then I'll be more than happy.
Really good stuff. Well done today, Luke. Smashing stuff indeed. Not literally, of
Thank
course. Brilliant. And let's come to Dan Dan. And Dan Dan, I'm not sure if you should be happy that you survived this race or disappointed that you've lost 10 more points to Marsky. How do you see this one? Is it glass half full or glass half empty?
Definitely full. I mean, as we know, Baku is never a guarantee to even pick any points up with how hard that track is to race around. So third place, I'll take it. I was hoping for a bit more at one point, but it's one of them circuits you just got to survive, pick up what you can and move on. So Yeah, I'm glad to be back on the podium. It's not been going well recently, but yeah, hopefully this 2 week break will sort of help reset things. And yeah, we go again.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a difficult time for you. Can you pull it down to time of the season to track dependency? What's going on then? Because at the beginning of the season you was absolutely rapid out of the blocks. Then, what's going on? Is it the competition's got better, or is it yourself and it's just been a bit lackluster? What's going on?
Um, I think it'd be disrespectful to say anything other than everyone else has got quicker. I mean, everyone seems to have upped their game. There's certainly a few drivers who've just been red hot recently. You know, Marsky's definitely one of them. I'm glad that there's a 2 week break just to try and cool him off a bit. He looks like everything he drives in would go 400 miles an hour at the minute. So um, look, last week Monza, it was a track I liked. 0 points, put it in the wall. This track, not one I really like. Pick up 15. So there's no really rhyme or reason to it. As I say, I'm glad for the reset coming up, and fingers crossed for more luck like I had at the start of the season.
And of course, we've got Luke up here today. We've got your teammate Dynamo Dan also getting involved as well. Jinner is getting flashes of brilliance as well. And of course, we also had Sick as Muck involved in the action. With those additional drivers that are not fighting for the championship, do you welcome that, or do you rather have a straightforward fight between yourself, Marsky? And I'd even throw in there the likes of Sirius Mushroom and also Kian as well, who's not been here the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, as you just reel those names off, there's so many fast drivers here. Everyone's so good. I mean, it's given that there's a bit of a gap now between myself and Marsky. Not only do I need to finish ahead of him, I need him to finish behind certain other people as well. So I see it as a positive. If we just finish 1, 2 every race, then he'd slowly just edge out the championship and win. So if I'm going to start winning races, I need him to start finishing third, fourth, fifth with other guys stepping up and helping. So, you know, Dynamo Dan, my teammate, he's been fantastic the last couple of races. So hopefully he can get in and help me a bit.
And after Singapore, then we do come to more traditional tracks like USA, Mexico, Brazil. Are you looking forward to those tracks then, or are you more happy about tracks like Singapore where there's chaos around every corner?
Yeah, I do like Singapore. It is a fun track. I mean, it's almost guaranteed a safety car, so there's a bit of luck involved, kind of as and when they fall, if it suits you or goes against you. So, you know, fingers crossed for a few weeks' time when we go around there. But yeah, I'm confident of a good result there.
Really good stuff. Well done today, Dan Dan. I say lackluster. That's your 10th podium of the season. So, goodness gracious me. I hate to see when you're on pinnacle form. Fantastic. Then Luke getting his first podium as well to say fantastic stuff indeed. And of course, Marsky also getting his third win of the season on his 8th podium. Goodness gracious me. The consistency in here is absolutely fantastic. That's going to be it for tonight then. We got a 2 week break then, which is absolutely fantastic for our viewers because you don't have to hear my Forester voice then for 2 weeks. Tomorrow night is 100%, of course, then. So if you do want any comedy value, then you can tune in tomorrow and wonder where that McLaren is. I don't mean Mushroom, I mean me, since I don't know where I'm going in Singapore, so that's going to be fun. Let's just hope all the track is actually barricaded up. That's it then for tonight then, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time then for gold then, where we go to Singapore. And the longest race of the season in terms of time is going to be a brutal one then. And of course, the bronze drivers then are going to be in action in 2 weeks from today as well. Marsky's got a 34-point lead over Dan Dan. And what about Kian? What about Smithy Almighty? Two drivers aren't scored today then, but they'll be back at it, I'm sure. See you then. Goodbye.